The late afternoon sun cast long, lazy shadows across Willow Creek Park, painting the familiar landscape in hues of gold and amber. Liam, known online to millions as Urban Wanderer, adjusted the strap of his vintage camera bag, a contented smile playing on his lips. His latest day in the Life series was doing phenomenally well, but here, amidst the laughter of children and the distant hum of traffic, he was just Liam. He'd found the perfect spot by the old oak, a secluded patch of grass where his rescue dog, Buster, could happily chase squirrels without bothering anyone. Buster, a scruffy terrier mixed with boundless energy, was currently mid-pounce on an unsuspecting acorn, his tail a blurry exclamation mark. Liam chuckled, pulling out his phone to snap a quick photo for his personal album, a simple, unfiltered moment of joy away from the meticulously curated world of his online persona. He was enjoying the rare quiet, a fleeting escape from the constant buzz of notifications and content creation. His mind drifted to upcoming collaborations, the analytics of his last travel vlog, and the unique challenges of staying authentic. While growing a massive audience, it was a delicate balance, one he usually managed with grace and strategic foresight. His tranquility shattered the moment the shrill, indignant voice cut through the air, sharp as a broken glass. "Excuse me, are you deaf, or just incredibly inconsiderate?" Liam looked up, blinking in the direct sunlight, to see a woman storming towards him. She was mid-50s, with a tight, severe bun and a floral-patterned visor perched aggressively on her head, perfectly accessorizing her scowl. This was Brenda. Her eyes, magnified by equally severe glasses, narrowed on Buster, who had paused his acorn hunt to cock his head quizzically at the approaching whirlwind. "Your dog, off the leash. This is a public park. Young man, not your personal dog run." Liam instinctively reached for Buster's leash, which was tucked into his belt loop. He always kept it handy, even when letting Buster roam in a quiet spot. "Ma'am, he's just playing in an isolated area, and I have his leash right here," Liam replied calmly, his voice even, already sensing the futile nature of the conversation. He'd encountered park busybodies before, but Brenda radiated an almost tangible aura of self-righteous fury. Brenda scoffed, her hands flying to her hips. "Isolated. He could be anywhere. What if he bites a child? What if he steps on my prize-winning petunias? Rules are rules, and clearly, you think you're above them." Without another word, she whipped out her phone, holding it up horizontally, its lens pointed directly at Liam and Buster. "I'm recording this, young man. People like you need to be held accountable for your irresponsible behavior." Liam's jaw tightened. He hated being recorded without consent, a professional hazard of his online life he usually avoided, but in this moment, his influencer instincts were dormant. He was just Liam, a guy trying to enjoy a quiet afternoon. He maintained a neutral expression, refusing to give her the dramatic reaction she clearly craved. "Look, I'm happy to put him on the leash right now if it bothers you so much," he offered, though the injustice of it rankled. He was already clipping the leash onto Buster's collar, who, sensing the tension, had settled obediently at Liam's feet. But Brenda wasn't interested in resolution. Her voice rose, crackling with self-importance. "Oh, now you'll put him on the leash. Too little, too late. I have all the evidence I need. Your blatant disregard for park regulations. Your insolence. This video will show everyone exactly what kind of person you are." She zoomed in slightly, making sure to capture Liam's face, his camera bag, and Buster. Her finger hovered over the stop button, a triumphant glint in her eye. Liam sighed. Internally, he glanced around, noticing a few other parkgoers now subtly watching the unfolding scene, their expressions a mix of curiosity and mild embarrassment. He felt a familiar surge of annoyance, the kind that came with dealing with unreasonable people, but consciously pushed it down. Getting angry would only escalate the situation and give Brenda more material for whatever she planned to do with her recording. He simply met her gaze with a steady, unyielding look. refusing to be rattled. With a final, huffy sniff and a triumphant flick of her wrist, Brenda lowered her phone, a self-satisfied smirk replacing her scowl. "This is going straight online," she declared, her voice laced with finality. "Everyone will see this, everyone." She then turned on her heel and marched away with a brisk, determined stride, her floral visor bobbing indignantly with each step. Liam watched her go, a slight frown creasing his brow. He shook his head slowly, a quiet unbelievable escaping his lips. Buster nudged his hand, whining softly, as if sensing his human's agitation. Liam bent down to scratch Buster behind the ears. "Just another day at the park, buddy," he mumbled, though a part of him felt a lingering prickle of unease. He knew how quickly minor incidents could balloon online, especially with people eager to expose others. But he shrugged it off. It was just a woman recording him for a trivial park dispute. He had no idea the video was about to go viral, or that his carefully compartmentalized worlds were about to collide in the most public and chaotic way imaginable. He was completely unaware that the woman he just encountered had unwittingly captured the next major chapter of his online career, albeit one he hadn't planned for. The video, initially titled Park Psycho Unleashed, and uploaded to a local community Facebook group by Brenda, began its insidious creep across the internet. At first, it was just a ripple, a handful of angry emojis, a few Karen alert comments, and local residents debating park etiquette. Brenda, monitoring the engagement with smug satisfaction from her floral-patterned armchair, felt a surge of vindication. "See, I told you he was a menace," she muttered to her reflection in the screen. But the ripple quickly became a wave. Someone with a slightly larger following on TikTok stumbled upon it, found Brenda's original upload, and reshared it with a sardonic caption, "When you try to enjoy the park and encounter park manager Karen." That was the spark. The short, shaky clip, showcasing Brenda's escalating theatrics against Liam's calm, almost weary demeanor, was perfectly packaged for virality. The contrast was too stark to meme-worthy to ignore. Within hours, park manager Karen was trending. The comments section exploded. "She's wearing a visor indoors. You know she means business," one user quipped. "That poor dog just wanted to chase an acorn," another lamented. The video was reposted on Twitter, Instagram, and even YouTube compilations of Karen meltdowns. Liam's face, though mostly passive, became the unwitting symbol of calm under pressure. His slightly bemused expression, the way he calmly reached for Buster's leash even as Brenda ranted, resonated with millions who had faced similar public confrontations. Memes featuring Liam's face alongside quotes about patience and dealing with irrational people began circulating. Brenda, meanwhile, was increasingly being dubbed Park Karen, and her aggressive demeanor, once seen as righteous, was now widely mocked and condemned. The tide had turned, but she was too caught up in the initial thrill of engagement to notice the shift in sentiment. She just saw the numbers climb, hundreds, then thousands, then hundreds of thousands of views. Liam, immersed in editing a travel vlog from his recent trip to Iceland, was oblivious to the digital firestorm brewing around him. His phone, usually a symphony of pings and notifications from his various platforms, was relatively quiet. He'd intentionally put it on Do Not Disturb to focus on a particularly tricky transition sequence. His days were a meticulous dance between content creation, community engagement, and strategic planning, with over 5 million subscribers on YouTube and an equally impressive following across Instagram and TikTok. His online presence was a finely tuned machine. Every post, every story, every collaboration was carefully considered to maintain his brand as urban wanderer, a persona built on positivity, exploration, and authentic experiences. The thought of a random park encounter disrupting this carefully constructed world was beyond his immediate comprehension. It started subtly, a cryptic text from his younger sister, Maya, renowned for her online savviness. "Oh my God, Liam, have you seen this? He glanced at it, shrugged, and dismissed it as another absurd TikTok trend she was trying to get him to watch. Then, an email from his manager, Sarah, with the subject line urgent, park video. Liam frowned. Sarah only used urgent for brand deals or crisis management. He still didn't check it. Later, while grabbing coffee from his local cafe, the barista, a bubbly young woman who often recognized him, paused, wide-eyed. Hey, you single quotes re dot dot, you're that guy from the park video, aren't you? She whispered, excitedly. Liam blinked. Park video? I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. The barista just giggled, gesturing vaguely with her milk steamer. It's everywhere. Park manager Karen and the chill dude. She flashed him a knowing smile, then quickly served the next customer. Liam walked out, a prickle of unease finally starting to form. Back in his apartment, the casual whispers and cryptic messages finally propelled him to open Sarah's email. It contained a link to a TikTok video. He clicked it, and his comfortable apartment suddenly felt very small. The first few seconds played, and Liam's stomach dropped. There he was, in full, unwitting glory, calmly putting Buster on the leash, while Brenda's enraged voice screeched accusations. The shaky camera work, Brenda's indignant tone, his own recognizable face, it was all there. He watched in stunned silence as the video looped, the view count ticking past 2 million on that single TikTok repost alone. He scrolled down, his thumb ablur, past hundreds of thousands of comments. This man's patience is legendary. Is that Urban Wanderer? I swear it looks like him. Oh my god, it is Urban Wanderer. Nitrogen monoxide way. The realization hit him like a physical blow. Not only was he in a viral video he didn't consent to, but his carefully guarded offline moments were now intersecting with his massive online presence. The video wasn't just Park Psycho Unleashed anymore. It was rapidly becoming Urban Wanderer versus Park Karen, his face, his dog, his calm demeanor. They were all becoming symbols in a narrative he had no control over. A wave of emotions washed over him. Initial shock, then a simmering anger at Brenda for invading his privacy, followed by a dawning, almost cold awareness of the immense damage, or potential opportunity, this could represent for his brand. He saw comments debating whether it truly was him, fans vehemently defending him, and a few skeptics questioning if it was staged. The Urban Wanderer brand was built on authenticity and positive vibes, and this raw, unpolished, unsolicited footage threatened to complicate everything. He knew, with chilling certainty, that this wasn't just a fleeting viral moment. This was a seismic event in his meticulously managed life, and millions of eyes were now fixed on him, waiting to see what Urban Wanderer would do next. The silent phone now began to buzz incessantly, as if the entire internet had simultaneously discovered his true identity. The immediate aftermath was a whirlwind for Liam. His phone, which had been blissfully silent hours ago, was now a relentless beacon of urgency. Notifications exploded across every platform. Messages from worried friends, frantic calls from brand partners, and a barrage of mentions from his followers, all echoing the same sentiment. Is that really you, Urban Wanderer? He sat at his desk, Buster curled anxiously at his feet, his mind racing. This wasn't just a minor PR blip. This was a direct, unfiltered glimpse into his private life, broadcast by someone with malicious intent. His carefully cultivated image of serene professionalism and genuine positivity was now juxtaposed against a backdrop of public confrontation. His manager, Sarah, was the first to cut through the noise. Her voice, usually composed, crackled with a mix of alarm and strategic fire. Liam, we need to talk. Now, your DMs are flooded. My email is crashing, and park manager Karen is trending higher than your Iceland series. Everyone's asking if it's you. It is me, Sarah, Liam admitted, rubbing his temples. I was just taking Buster for a walk. She just appeared. I figured. Sarah sighed. Look, the good news is, most people are on your side. Your calm reaction, Buster's cuteness, it's actually making you look good. But it's also a massive invasion of privacy, and we need a plan. Fast, before this narrative gets away from us. Liam leaned back, eyes fixed on the ceiling. I don't want to engage in a public spat. That's not my brand. I built Urban Wanderer on authenticity and positivity, not drama. I know, Sarah affirmed, her tone shifting to a more strategic gear. But silence can be misconstrued as well. We need a measured response, something that leverages your brand, turns this negative into a positive, and shuts down Brenda effectively without stooping to her level. Their conversation flowed for hours, dissecting the video, analyzing public sentiment, and brainstorming potential angles. They considered everything from a simple statement to a full-blown response video. Liam was adamant, no direct attacks, no emotional outbursts. His response had to be as calm and composed as his reaction in the video itself. The core message needed to be about respect, privacy, and responsible online behavior, while subtly reinforcing the values of the Urban Wanderer brand. Meanwhile, Brenda was basking in the initial glow of her perceived triumph. Sitting on her plush sofa, she scrolled through the comments on her original Facebook post, a triumphant smile plastered across her face. "See, Harold," she chirped to her startled cat. "People do care about rules." He needed to be exposed. The first few hundred comments were validating, echoing her outrage at the irresponsible dog owner. She loved seeing the view count climb. She even posted a follow-up, "Glad to see I'm not the only one who believes in upholding park regulations." Stay tuned for more updates on this rogue dog walker. Her neighbor, Carol, called, praising her bravery. This was exactly what Brenda had craved: recognition, validation, and a sense of power. However, as the video transcended local Facebook groups and permeated the broader internet, a subtle but significant shift began. People started to recognize Liam. "Wait a minute," read a comment on TikTok. "Is that Urban Wanderer? The guy who hiked Everest last year?" Another chimed in, "Oh my God, it is him. His dog's name is Buster." The wave of initial support for Brenda began to erode, replaced by a torrent of confusion, then disbelief, and finally, outright condemnation. "Brenda, sweetie, you just tried to expose a global influencer with millions of followers. Good luck with that. This Karen just picked a fight with one of the nicest guys on YouTube. Hilarious." Imagine recording someone for being irresponsible when they're literally known for promoting responsible outdoor adventures. The irony? Brenda, still riding the high of early validation, initially dismissed these comments as trolls, but the sheer volume was overwhelming. Her phone, too, began to buzz with a different kind of urgency. Friends messaged her, not with praise, but with caution. "Brenda, are you sure about this? People are saying that's Urban Wanderer." Her nephew, a tech-savvy teenager, called, exasperated. "And Brenda, what have you done? That guy is huge. You're gonna get annihilated online." Her smile faltered. She started scrolling more slowly, her eyes widening at the growing number of negative comments aimed directly at her. Terms like Park Karen, entitled, and bully filled her screen. Her initial video, once a symbol of her righteousness, was now being dissected, her tone criticized, her actions ridiculed. The sense of triumph curdled into a cold, unsettling dread. She tried to delete some of the nastier comments, but they multiplied faster than she could erase them. This wasn't the validation she wanted. This was a digital nightmare. Back in his apartment, Liam and Sarah finalized their strategy. It was simple, elegant, and deeply authentic to his brand. He would not address Brenda directly. He would not engage in a back and forth. Instead, he would create a piece of content that spoke to the incident without ever mentioning her name, but whose meaning would be unmistakable to his millions of followers. He sat down, the lights casting a soft glow on his face, the familiar warmth of his camera lens facing him. "Buster," sensing the serious mood, lay quietly by his feet. Liam began to record. He started not with a confrontation, but with a familiar, calming drone shot of a beautiful, serene park, not Willow Creek, but one equally lush and green. His voice, the steady, reassuring tone that had captivated millions, narrated a simple message over the footage. Sometimes, when you're out exploring, you encounter unexpected challenges. Not always the grand mountains or the wild rivers, but the smaller, more personal ones. He paused, a subtle, knowing look in his eyes, a flicker of that calm patience that had already gone viral. It's in those moments, especially when a camera is involved, that you have a choice. To react with anger, or to choose calm, to lash out, or to listen. And to remember that public spaces are for everyone, meant to be shared with kindness and respect. He didn't post it immediately, but the video was ready, a perfectly crafted, subtle, yet powerful hint that Urban Wanderer was aware, and a response was indeed coming. The online world, unknowingly, held its breath. The internet, a volatile beast of algorithms and public opinion, waited. Liam and Sarah had meticulously planned the release. No fanfare, no dramatic countdowns, just a simple upload at precisely 9 a.m. PST, a time when most of his global audience, particularly in the US, would be active. The video's title was deceptively simple, a moment of reflection. My thoughts on public spaces. There was no mention of Karen, no dramatic expose, just Liam's familiar, calm face on the thumbnail. The video began with Liam sitting in his studio, bathed in soft, natural light, Buster curled peacefully at his feet. His voice, steady and resonant, filled the speakers. Hey everyone, Urban Wanderer here. I usually share stories of grand adventures, beautiful landscapes, and the joy of exploration. But today, I want to talk about a different kind of landscape, the public spaces we all share, and the unexpected moments they can bring. He paused, a subtle, almost imperceptible shift in his gaze that conveyed both sincerity and a knowing awareness. Recently, a video has been circulating, a video of me and Buster at a park, an interaction that, frankly, was far from the calm and respectful encounters I usually experience. This was the moment. The reveal was not aggressive. It was understated, confident. He didn't show Brenda's video. Instead, he gently inserted a brief, artfully shot clip of a park sign with rules clearly visible, followed by a close-up of Buster happily on his leash. His voice continued, "It's true, that was me. And while I won't dive into the specifics of that particular interaction, I do want to talk about how we treat each other in these shared spaces, and how quickly a single moment, captured on camera, can spiral into something much larger online." He then transitioned into a broader message about kindness, empathy, and the responsibility that comes with filming and sharing others without their consent. He spoke about how we often judge without full context, and how negativity can spread just as fast, if not faster, than positivity. He never raised his voice, never showed anger. He concluded with a powerful call to action. My platform, Urban Wanderer, has always been about fostering a community of respect and understanding. Let's remember that the digital world reflects the real one. Let's choose kindness. Let's choose understanding. Let's choose to make our shared spaces, both physical and digital, places of peace, not conflict. The video ended with a slow zoom out to show Liam smiling gently, with Buster licking his hand. It was a masterclass in strategic communication, subtly identifying himself, acknowledging the situation, and pivoting to his core brand message. The reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Within minutes, comments flooded in. "Oh my God, it's him. He addressed it so perfectly. This is how you handle a Karen, with grace and wisdom. The ultimate clapback without even saying a bad word? Legend." Urban Wanderer must schooled the entire internet on how to be a decent human being. The video rapidly climbed YouTube's trending page, then TikTok, then Instagram. News outlets that had initially picked up Brenda's video now pivoted, running headlines like "Viral Karen video takes unexpected turn as victim reveals himself as the major influencer urban wanderer," and "Influencer's classy response to park confrontation goes viral." His follower count surged, engagement rates skyrocketed, and messages of support poured in from celebrities, other influencers, and millions of ordinary viewers who admired his composure and integrity. Brands he worked with immediately reached out, praising his handling of the situation and expressing renewed interest in collaboration. Liam hadn't just diffused a crisis, he had turned it into a monumental brand victory, reinforcing every positive aspect of his online persona. Meanwhile, Brenda's world was imploding. She had just finished a triumphant phone call with her cousin, boasting about how that young man was finally getting what he deserved, when her phone started vibrating with alarming intensity. It wasn't just comments anymore, it was direct messages, hate mail, people finding her personal Facebook profile and leaving scathing remarks. Her park psycho unleashed. Video was now drowning in a sea of laughing emojis and angry faces. She saw the new headlines flashing across news aggregators, her face often juxtaposed with Liam's, but her caption was always "Park Karen." The triumphant smirk vanished, replaced by a look of sheer terror. She frantically clicked on Liam's new video, her jaw dropping as she realized, with a sickening lurch, that the young man she had recorded was urban wanderer. The calm, respectful demeanor she had dismissed as insolence was actually a hallmark of a global phenomenon. She watched in horror as the comments section of her video became a battleground, overwhelmingly against her. She picked the wrong one. How embarrassing for Brenda. Enjoy your internet infamy, Brenda. Even her cousin called back, her tone now frosty. Brenda, are you serious? You tangled with urban wanderer? Everyone knows him. What were you thinking? Her carefully constructed online world, built on years of passive-aggressive neighborhood watch posts and local community group complaints, was collapsing in real time. Brands she had tagged in her triumphant initial post were now publicly distancing themselves from her, some even issuing statements condemning her behavior. Her local bake sale committee, of which she was treasurer, called an emergency meeting to discuss recent events. The very validation she had craved had turned into a public execution. The comments, the memes, the news stories, they were a relentless assault on her carefully maintained image. Brenda slumped in her armchair, phone slipping from her trembling hand. Her plan hadn't just backfired, it had detonated, leaving her digital reputation, and possibly her real-world one, in smoldering ruins. She was left alone with the crushing weight of her viral infamy, utterly defeated. The dust settled, but the ripples of Brenda's viral video continued to spread, reshaping the online landscapes of both Liam and Brenda in profound and lasting ways. For Liam, the urban wanderer, the incident became an unexpected, powerful amplifier for his brand. His calm, strategic response resonated deeply with a global audience tired of online negativity. Within weeks, his subscriber count on YouTube surged past 6 million, and his engagement metrics across all platforms saw an unprecedented spike. Brands, now more than ever, saw him as a safe, authentic, and incredibly impactful partner. New opportunities poured in. A major national park organization approached him to be an ambassador, promoting responsible tourism and park etiquette, a perfect, ironic twist to the initial confrontation. A publishing house offered him a book deal, not just for his travel adventures, but for a memoir reflecting on digital citizenship, authenticity, and navigating public life in the age of viral content. He was invited to speak at digital media conferences, his story becoming a case study in effective crisis management and turning lemons into lemonade. Liam used this amplified platform not for vengeance, but for good. His community rallied, sharing their own stories of positive public encounters, drowning out the lingering echoes of negativity with a tidal wave of constructive engagement. He started a small fund, powered by a portion of his new endorsement deals, to support local park maintenance and provide leash and training resources for dog owners, a subtle nod to the incident that started it all. Buster, of course, became an even more beloved mascot, his gentle nature a silent testament to Liam's message. For Brenda, the consequences were severe and immediate, far beyond just online ridicule. The internet, in its relentless pursuit of justice or sometimes just spectacle, had done its research. Her full name, address, and even her workplace were quickly unearthed and plastered across various forums. She started receiving anonymous phone calls and hate mail. Her employer, a relatively small accounting firm, faced a barrage of negative reviews and public pressure. Within days, she was put on administrative leave, then quietly let go, the official reason cited as conduct unbecoming of an employee and distraction to the workplace environment. The local bake sale committee, her cherished social outlet, voted unanimously to remove her as treasurer, citing negative publicity impacting community relations. Her carefully cultivated local reputation, built on years of being the stickler for rules, crumbled. Brenda tried to double down initially, posting a defiant statement on her remaining social media accounts, accusing Liam of being part of a woke agenda and claiming she was being silenced. But her words fell on deaf ears, drowned out by the sheer volume of backlash. Even her long-suffering husband, tired of the constant harassment and the disruption to their quiet life, insisted she retreat from all social media. She became a pariah in her own community, whispers following her in the grocery store, neighbors pointedly avoiding eye contact. The park, once her personal dominion for enforcing rules, became a place she couldn't bear to visit, haunted by the memory of her own spectacular downfall. There was no grand, public apology from Brenda. Instead, there was a profound, enforced silence, born of overwhelming humiliation and the crushing weight of public scorn. Her online world didn't just collapse, it was utterly erased, a ghost of her former self-righteousness. Months passed, and the incident, while still a reference point in online discussions about Karen's and influencer responses, faded from the daily trending topics. Liam, however, carried the lessons with him. He continued to be urban wanderer, but with an even deeper appreciation for the double-edged sword of public platforms. One quiet afternoon, Liam found himself back at Willow Creek Park, not for content, but for peace. Buster bounded ahead, happily chasing a frisbee, a proper leash attached, of course. Liam sat on a bench near the old oak tree, watching the dappled sunlight filter through the leaves. He thought about that day, the raw anger he'd felt, and the calculated decision to respond with grace. It had been a risk, opening himself up to an even wider audience after such a personal moment, but it had paid off, not just in numbers, but in impact. He realized the true power of his platform wasn't just about showing beautiful places. It was about connecting with people, fostering understanding, and using his voice for something meaningful. The incident with Brenda had been an unfortunate catalyst, a jarring reminder that even in the most mundane moments, we are constantly broadcasting who we are. His commitment to authenticity, kindness, and responsible digital citizenship had been tested under the harshest public glare, and it had emerged stronger, more resilient. He smiled faintly, looking out at the park, now filled with peaceful families and leashed dogs. The experience had taught him that while you can't control what others do, you can always control your own response. And in a world eager for conflict, choosing peace and purpose could be the most viral content of all. He picked up his camera, not to film Brenda, but to capture the quiet beauty of the park, a testament to shared spaces and the enduring power of positive influence.